Wes Watson presents himself as the epitome of success. A muscular, tall, wealthy entrepreneur who overcame prison time to build multiple million-dollar businesses. His Instagram showcases a life of luxury, designer clothes, exotic cars, and lavish properties. But how much of this narrative holds up to scrutiny? Let's start with something seemingly trivial but telling: his height. For years, Watson claimed to be 6 feet 2 inches or 6 feet 3 inches, a detail that reinforced his imposing alpha male image. Evidence now suggests he's actually around 5 feet 8 inches and wears shoes with elevated heels to appear taller. While height itself doesn't matter, the willingness to maintain such a basic deception speaks volumes about his overall authenticity. His car collection, reportedly worth over $3.4 million, includes vehicles like a 2022 McLaren 720S Spider, a 2023 Rolls-Royce Phantom, and a 2020 Rolls-Royce Cullinan. These luxury vehicles serve a specific purpose. They're visual proof of his success and create aspirational desire in his followers. But here's what's fascinating. Many of these high-end alpha influencers don't actually own these assets. They rent or lease them specifically for content creation. But wait until you see what happened when someone actually checked into his background and business operations. The business coaching cash grab. Your guys' biggest expense will always be the knowledge you don't have, Watson often preaches in his content. This philosophy underpins his entire business model, convincing followers that their lack of success stems from missing his special knowledge, which he'll share, for a price. One follower who bought into this premise shared his experience on Reddit. "I'd been watching him on YouTube for years. When I saw that he had made it big and was offering a business coaching service, I thought he would be a great person to learn from." This fan paid $1,500 for half of Watson's business coaching program, only to have calls repeatedly rescheduled and eventually canceled with no refund. The fan discovered that Watson's Trainerize account, where clients communicate with him, was likely managed by staff rather than Watson himself. The responses were completely unaware of conversations that had occurred with Wes on Instagram. Another follower recounts an even more disturbing experience. "I send him $3,000. What do I get in return? An 1,800-calorie meal plan. 2 months passed by, I hit him up, say, 'Is this how you get down, big dog? $3,000 and that's all I get?' He starts losing it on me. He says, 'You think a person like you can mess with a person like me?' The victim continues, 'I could have taken that $3,000, lit it on fire, and it would have provided more value for me.' And if you think that's shocking, wait until you hear about his recent legal troubles. From social media violence to real-world consequences. Watson's aggressive online persona isn't just digital posturing, it has reportedly escalated to serious real-world consequences. In early 2025, reports surfaced that Watson faced arrest in Miami Beach, Florida, on aggravated battery charges, a felony that could seriously impact his carefully crafted empire. This follows a disturbing pattern of behavior documented across social media platforms. In one particularly shocking incident at a gym, Watson was allegedly involved in a violent confrontation that began on Instagram. According to police documentation, units spoke to the victim, who stated he was told by the suspect to come fight him via Instagram. What followed wasn't just a scuffle. Witnesses claim Watson struck his victim repeatedly, 45 times by one account, while the victim was on his knees protecting his face. These incidents paint a troubling picture of how toxic masculinity marketed online transforms into actual violence. The alpha male isn't just a harmful internet fantasy. It creates real victims when these philosophies are enacted in daily life. But this violence is merely the visible symptom of a deeper problem, a sophisticated system designed to identify, exploit, and profit from men's insecurities while delivering nothing of value in return. The alpha male ecosystem, a web of deception. Watson is far from alone in this space. He represents just one node in a vast network of self-proclaimed alpha male influencers who operate using the same basic playbook. These influencers thrive by identifying common insecurities, financial struggles, relationship difficulties, physical appearance, and positioning themselves as having overcome these exact challenges. They suggest followers can achieve similar results by following their advice or purchasing their products. As one analysis notes, manosphere influencers are misogynists who sell the myth of the alpha male. In reality, they're scammers. They claim that men should dominate women and society, promising a pathway to this dominance through their programs. Andrew Tate represents perhaps the most notorious example of this archetype, though his case is extreme. His rise and subsequent legal troubles illustrate how the concept of an alpha male who is simultaneously hateful toward women yet supposedly beloved by them is fundamentally a lie. And when you see the psychological tactics they employ, you'll understand why so many fall victim inside the emotional manipulation machine. What makes these scams particularly effective is their sophisticated emotional manipulation. The alpha male industry doesn't just sell products, it sells identity and belonging. Watson leverages his claimed prison background, physical prowess, and financial success to create an aspirational figure for those feeling trapped or unsuccessful in their own lives. This creates a powerful psychological hook that makes critical thinking more difficult for those most vulnerable to these tactics. The social media presentation is carefully crafted. As one content creator who exposes these tactics noted, "These guys are narcissists. They all love the attention." Every post, video, and story is designed to reinforce the fantasy. The luxury items, the confident demeanor, the tough guy persona. Even relationships become content fodder. Watson has been criticized for his treatment of his girlfriend, Angie, and her child, positioning himself as a devoted father figure in content, while behind-the-scenes footage reveals a very different dynamic. In one revealing clip, Watson demands attention from Angie, despite her responsibilities as a mother. "I tell her to greet me when I come in the goddamn house or when I'm around to make sure that she shows she's attracted to me." Even more revealing is Angie's own admission. "I'm reading this and I was like, wow, this is so beautiful and so heartfelt. But I was like, that's not the same person. That's not the guy in the other bedroom. This is not the man I'm living with. The house of cards is starting to collapse, and you won't believe who's leading the charge." The impending collapse. The alpha male industry sits on increasingly shaky ground as the facade begins to crumble. Recent legal troubles have surfaced, with Wes Watson reportedly arrested and booked for felony battery and assault. A dramatic turn for someone who positioned himself as a reformed ex-convict turned successful entrepreneur. This incident offers a glimpse into how the carefully crafted online persona can violently manifest in the real world. The business model follows a predictable pattern: promise extraordinary transformation, charge premium fees, deliver minimal value, and count on victims' embarrassment to maintain silence. One former follower expressed his disillusionment. "I kind of looked up to him. I was in prison the same time he was. I saw someone similar to me that I looked up to, and he ended up scamming me." These alpha male scams mirror other high-profile fraud cases throughout history, like Bernie Madoff, who maintained his Ponzi scheme for decades by creating false trading reports and manipulating account statements. The truth is, the only ones truly crushing it in this ecosystem are the grifters themselves, crushing the dreams, bank accounts, and self-esteem of the very followers they claim to help. What are your thoughts on this? Drop down in the comments and subscribe for the next video where we come up with another scam exposing.